All right, Stars fans. This is Danny Cohen, and we are coming to you in our first day of the fall weather where we're wearing some thermals and it's feeling like hockey season. And we have got a game coming up here against the Columbus Blue Jackets. The Columbus Blue Jackets were the most improved team of the year last year. They were in the lottery, and last year they just missed the playoffs by 2 points. They gave us some problems. We split with them, one win, one loss. And in the offseason, they've lost JVR, so they lost a little bit of experience up front. They had 3 point per game players last year, more or less, with Werenski, who's an awesome rear guard for them, just an offensive threat that we need to keep our eyes peeled for when he's on the ice. Monahan and Marchenko. They've got some rough customer by the name of Olivier, who is one of the best fighters in the league, and I I don't think anybody on our team is going to fight him. Yeah, I don't think we have anybody who would be biting off more than they could chew by dropping the mitts with him. But you never know. Maybe somebody will belly up to the bar and see how they do against one of the top heavyweights in the league in him. They had two players who had 31 goals last year. Adam Fantilli, who was, I think, drafted second overall. If not, he was for sure in the top three picks. And he's got a lot of talent, as well as Marchenko hit that 31 goal mark last year. They have another player who is 23 years old named Kent Johnson, who was a fifth overall pick in 2021, and he scored 57 points rather last year. So they had a top 10 offense last year, but they also had the 25th ranked defense. They don't really have an elite player up front like we do with Rantanen. But they've got one. I mean, Werenski is one of the best offensive defensemen in the league. He might be number two behind McCarr. Nah, maybe Quinn Hughes. Maybe you put him at three. But he's right up there with the very best in the league. So our record this season is 3-2. So we come into tonight the mirror of what their record is. They're 2-3, coming off of a win against Tampa Bay. We've got Ben still out, and Lundqvist. It looks like he has a little bit more time in the rehab room than initially thought. So hopefully he's not out for too long, but he is going to be out, it looks like, again for this game. They are out Eric Gudbranson, who's a great defenseman for them, so they'll be missing him, as well as Miles Wood. Their defensive pairings are Werenski, Matejchuk, Provorov, Severson, and Christensen Fabro. So pretty, on paper, their defense looks better than what they did last year in terms of numbers. So maybe they have a little bit more that they can provide than what they did last year. So I wouldn't necessarily count out that defense. On paper, they look like they have a pretty deep rear guard back there. So their special teams were bottom third in both penalty kill and power play last year. So if we get into a special teams battle with them, I think we've got the upper hand there, though our penalty kill has not been too great. We did kill both last game, so there was that. But we'll see. Maybe we can get back on our hot streak with our power play and really stick it to that penalty kill, which is maybe a little bit outclassed, you could say. So when I look at these two teams, the goal differential between the two, which I think the goal differential for a team stat is one of the best stats to really get an idea of how good the team is, because when you have a record that's, say, identical with another team, but their goal differential is +3 and your goal differential is +27, you can see that our team is dominating more games than theirs. So um, I like that stat a lot. And when I look at those two teams, we're a +1 and they are a -1. So pretty much identical. I think right now both teams are performing at similar levels. And so middle of the pack for both. And that jives well with the eye test of what we've seen from this team, even in the early going in the year where we got off to such a hot start. There was just it just didn't feel right how we were winning games, and now that's kind of starting to play out in the numbers and in their record. So this is I would call it a swing game for the Stars in terms of a regular season swing game where we win this game, we break our 2-game losing streak, and now we're 4-2. It's a pretty respectable record. We're going in to play Los Angeles, who's off to a rough start this year. We can then go and build upon that and make it 5-2 before playing Carolina, who is the only perfect team record-wise in the league right now. So it's going to be a good game, a tough game for the Stars, and you'd like to go into that with some momentum. Now, if we lose this game, we're looking at a 3-3, 500 team, a team that's lost 3 in a row, and we're gonna have some concerns. I think a lot of us are already concerned a little bit, but if you're a 500 team and you lose 3 in a row, and then this could really start to snowball, and people could be feeling some pressure if they don't get things righted quickly. So I think this is a fairly important game in terms of momentum and where this team is headed. So it's going to be good to see how this plays out. Right now we're dealing with a little adversity with we've been taking some injuries. Ben was out. Duchesne took that hit. It kind of scared us a little bit, thinking that maybe he'd be out longer. Thankfully he wasn't. And now we've got Lundqvist out, and Lundqvist was an important piece that was missing last year in the playoffs for us. He's one of our better puck movers on the back end there, and being a right shot defenseman, it's harder to replace them when they go down. So Lyubushkin and Petrovic have been in there picking up some slack, but hopefully we don't have to rely on them too much longer, because Lundqvist does bring some things to the game that those guys just can't bring. And I thought our defense had a better game last night against the Blues, or the night before, where we really, and for all intents and purposes, you take off that empty net goal, we held them to 2 goals. And it was a low chance game where shots were pretty much even between the two teams. It to me, it didn't stand out as a really bad loss. You'd like to see them win that game, but St. Louis is a good team. Bennington's a good goalie. You'd like to have seen a little bit more of our offense, but you can't really blame the D. Not to say that the D was perfect, but they didn't play a bad game. So that was good to see. Hopefully we can build upon that, because overall the defense has not been good this year. Now, Hintz, even though he's putting up some good numbers, I don't think many people would say that he's had a great start to the year. So I'd be looking for him to take it up a notch for us. And Rantanen has been a great, I'd call him an interim captain, even if he doesn't have a letter on his jersey, because he has been doing it all for us. He's taken up his physical play. The emotion is there in his game. So I'd like to see him maybe take it to that next level here tonight, and lead this team and be the pulse beat of the team, because we really need someone to step up and make sure that we get this boat righted before it becomes a hole. So it should be a good one. If you have any questions or requests of me, I can be reached at thefoilhockey@gmail.com. That's TheFoil hockey@gmail.com.